name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I wanted to come in and talk to you guys really quickly about some of the things that I've been seeing regarding Bitcoin. Bitcoin has taken a little bit of a nosedive lately. I'm going to check the price right now, and it looks like as of the last few days, Bitcoin's been dipping. It's up slightly today. It's at 89,334, but that's part of a bigger dip. It looks like it's down 15% in the last month. And over the last 6 months, though, it's actually up 40%. But in the last 5 days, it's down 7%. The last month is down 15%. So with Bitcoin coming down, there are a few factors that I wanted to tell you about to kind of break it down for you. As I do that, if you could give me a quick yes in the chat, if you can hear me, let me know you can hear me okay. Give me a quick, let's do a quick sound check. Also, really quickly, just as a reminder, our partner program is open temporarily where you can actually buy autographed copies of my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. The regular price is $40. You can buy them for $8. And I encourage you to either buy extras and give them away or resell them. Use that as a business. You can sell that for $30 to $40. And I figured that it's an opportunity for everybody to make money and for us to get the message out, start a little family book club, start an investment club, do something with your community. We have to educate ourselves. We can do this. So feel free to grab copies of the book. We can't sell them at this price forever because y'all been ordering like crazy. My hand's getting tired from signing all the books. I've signed thousands of copies that you guys have ordered. So we're going to have to shut it down pretty soon because my team's mad at me right now because we've literally had thousands of orders going out. But if you guys want to take advantage of it, you can go to that website right there on the screen. It's 10commandments.boycewatkins.com. The number 10, 10commandments.boycewatkins.com. It's called the 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. Now, let's dive into Bitcoin. So here's the deal with Bitcoin. So right now with Bitcoin, you have this drastic decline. It's been a pretty big deal, and it's really hit the market pretty hard. A lot of this is driven by a few factors. I'm going to go through the different factors that are causing the decline, and then I'm going to give you my verdict in terms of whether or not I think purchasing Bitcoin makes sense. Number one, there's a big exodus right now with Bitcoin in terms of ETF outflows. Exchange traded funds basically saw about 1.77 billion in outflows since February 17th. They had a record of 516 million exiting on February 24th alone. So on one day, they had $500 million in cash come out of the Bitcoin ETFs. So when that happens, there's an increase in the supply of Bitcoin because the ETFs have to sell the Bitcoin in order to balance things out, and that pushes the price down. Institutional investors are pulling back because they're nervous. Well, why would they be nervous? Well, they're nervous partly because Trump's tariffs. He's really threatening a lot of tariffs. On the 24th, when that $500 billion in Bitcoin money pulled out, that was the day that his tariffs on Canada and Mexico kicked back in and were reconfirmed. That really rattled markets. So the 24th, which was yesterday, was a very big deal in financial markets. So this caused Bitcoin to drop about 8%. A lot of you that own assets, if you're in the Prime program where we generate income by selling stock options, you saw those stocks get hit really hard. Well, you can go blame your president. It was your president who did that. Y'all voted for this man. This is what you voted for. I'm playing. I'm kidding. I'm being silly. I didn't vote for him. I don't vote Democrat or Republican. And then don't tell me what to do because I ain't gonna listen. But still, though, that is literally why many of you own some of these stocks, like the Maras and the Huts. You saw them all get hit on the 24th and the 25th, and it's been kind of a bloodbath, I know, but this is what it is, right? So I'm buying the dip. I'm buying the dip because I believe that Trump is, he may be a bastard, but he's not a stupid bastard. And what does that mean? That means that I think eventually he's going to reverse things, and that's going to push the prices back up. But right now, a lot of the Bitcoin outflows have been connected directly to his tariffs and the uncertainty that they've created. And what's crazy is that if you remember, Bitcoin went as high as 109,000 after the election, and it's down 20% since the inauguration. 20%. So Trump's, he used to be able to say, hey, I pushed up the price of Bitcoin because I'm such a great guy. Well, now he's got to own the fact that he's actually pushed down the price of Bitcoin. A lot of people that bought at that 109 price are feeling kind of sad about it right now. Also, Tesla, Elon Musk company, Tesla's down 25%. How many of y'all knew that? Give me a yes if you knew that. Did y'all know that Tesla, that Elon's, Tesla stock is not doing that great? Like a lot of his shareholders are mad. I think they're down 25% so far this year. They're no longer $1 trillion company anymore. So a lot of things are happening right now financially that For those of you that don't like the Trump Musk moves, this gives you something to applaud. But remember, things can change at any moment. This is how the financial markets work. But I'd be curious to know what's going to happen, and I'm gonna suspect that because I believe that a lot of these guys are pretty corrupt. To be honest with you, I think that at some point they're going to shift the markets back in their favor. So if you got assets in these spaces, I personally am a fan of holding on. I think that the rich people are going to eventually shift things back in the direction they need things to go. That's just how America works. Also, now let's see here. There have been a lot of liquidations that have to occur when prices go down. So leverage is a big problem when it comes to crypto assets. And so what's happened is that a lot of people have borrowed money to buy these assets. And when they borrow money to buy these assets, then what happens is that when the prices of these assets drop, you start getting margin calls. When you get a margin call, if you don't have cash, you've got to sell even more. So sometimes the decline creates an even greater decline because the further down it goes, the more you got to sell. And the more you sell, the further down it goes. And the further down it goes, the more you sell. The more you sell, the further down it goes. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a cascading effect. So that could be a real issue. A lot of institutional investors walking away from crypto really signals a loss in confidence in terms of what Bitcoin and crypto are going to do, perhaps in the short term. But I can just tell you, in general, I personally think that if any of this gets cleared up, if they, decide that they want to be friends with Mexico again, Lord Jesus, man, you're fighting with Mexico, you're fighting with Europe, you're fighting with your friends. I don't understand that. I think at some point you're going to see all this kind of shift back in the other direction. It's a matter of how long can you hold your breath underwater? How long can you sit and just let it happen, buy the dip and wait for it to come back? Because the comeback usually arrives. There's never been a time in American history where the comeback didn't eventually arrive. The challenge is you don't know how long it's going to take. Also, you don't know, it doesn't happen for every asset. So I can't imagine the Bitcoin continuing to drop. I can't imagine them not delivering their promise to the crypto bros to get into the White House and change things. I saw Congress just pass some legislation that's going to help Trump's agenda get pushed through, whether you like it or not. It's coming because they got the funding and everything else. And I think that's going to eventually restabilize markets to a point, even though there's still going to be a lot of fighting and a lot of threats and a lot of tariffs and everything else. And this is the climate that you're in, and that's just what it is. So if you want to know my verdict in terms of buying Bitcoin, I'm a believer in buying this dip. I think this dip is going to be an opportunity long term. Typically in a post-halving year, when Bitcoin halves, they had a halving a year ago, back in April of 2024. The halving was when the rewards for mining Bitcoin were cut in half. And so in that year, Bitcoin's gone berserk, it's gone crazy. And there's going to be another halving in about 2028. That's when the next one's happening. And all these halvings occur because they're going to keep the total number of Bitcoin capped. I think it's at 21 million. I think there's only about 1.5 million more Bitcoin that are ever going to ever be created at any point. And I think that all these things are positive catalysts long term for the price of Bitcoin to go up. So if you love your child, you got a newborn baby, a newborn grandchild, and you really love them, then maybe you invest a little bit at a time, and maybe by the time that they're 18, 20 years old, they own one Bitcoin, which could be worth $1 million by the time they grow up. You got to do something for them. I mean, we can't just be leaving our kids out here broke, busted, and financially naked, right? We're not doing that, right? I hope not. So anyway, that's it, guys. I didn't have much else to say. I just wanted to come in and give you guys a quick update. I do have a podcast on Spotify called Dr. Boyce Daily with stock market, where I talk about the stock market as much as I can, as much as I can find time to do it. And so you can just look up my name on Spotify. And again, if you want to buy the $8 autograph copies of my book, just go to 10commandments.boycewatkins.com and knock yourself out. Feel free to be a part of it. This is a movement. The thing is, I told you, I don't fight about things like whether or not they're teaching Black history in public schools, because I don't think public schools educate our kids very well. I think that we should be educating our own people. I just believe that. Maybe people think that's radical. Maybe they think Black people are not capable of educating our own kids, but I don't agree. I think that we're the best educators for our children. So feel free to use my book as part of your financial education for your kids, because we all know that our kids need to know economics. So feel free to go to 10commandments.boycewatkins.com and you can get discounted copies of my book. And I dropped it all all the way down to $8. So, the cost of a Happy Meal. So anyway, have a good day, everybody. God bless you. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And I will see you all in class tomorrow morning. Take care. Bye-bye.